call me what you want. Just don't expect the truth. They ask me for my name in every town I ride through. I give them something different depending on my mood. I've been called Jack and William, been called Jim and John. Truth is I buried my real name the day my family was gone. The name is just a target painted on your back. The less they know about you, the less they can attack. No name, that's what I go by now. No name, don't ask me why or how. The man I was is buried somewhere in the sand. Now I'm just a shadow with a pistol in my hand. No name, no name. My mama gave me a name. She whispered it with pride. My daddy carved it in the barn the day before he died. But that name belonged to someone who believed the world was fair. Now I know better, so I leave that name right there. Names are for the living, for the ones who still have hope. I'm just passing through this world like tumbleweeds and smoke. No name, that's what I go by now. No name, don't ask me why or how. The man I was is buried somewhere in the sand. Now I'm just a shadow with a pistol in my hand. No name, you wanna know my name? Buy me a whiskey and I'll tell you a story. Might even be true. But my real name, the one died with a boy who used to pray at night, who used to believe in justice and love. He's gone now, and his name went with him. What's left is just a man, a gun, and a purpose. You don't need a name for that. Someday when this is over, when the last name's crossed off, maybe I'll remember what my mama used to call. But until that sun rises over my revenge, I'm nobody from nowhere, and that's how this story ends. No name carved on no stone. No name riding alone. No name, that's how I'll stay. No name till my dying day. Just dust. Dust on my boots from 100 desert miles. Dust from towns I passed through that I won't see for a while. Every grain tells a story of a road that led nowhere, but I keep on walking like there's something waiting there. My feet are tired, my horse is too, but something keeps me moving, don't know what else to do. Dust on my boots,
sun on my back,
dust on my boots,
no reason to go back.
I've been walking so long now I forgot how to stay still. Just dust on my boots
And a soul I can't feel.
dust on my boots, and a soul I can't feel. I've crossed rivers with no bridges, climbed mountains with no trails, slept under stars so empty, like God forgot the details. Every town looks the same now, every face blurs to one. I'm not searching for a destination, I'm just running from where I'm from. Maybe peace is out there somewhere past the horizon line, or maybe I'll just keep walking till I run out of time. Dust on my boots,
Sun on my back,
dust on my boots,
no reason to go back.
I've been walking so long now I forgot how to stay still. Just dust on my boots
And a soul I can't feel.
dust on my boots, and a soul I can't feel. A man once asked me, "Where you headed, stranger?" I told him forward, he laughed and said, "That's not a place." I said, "Mister, when you've lost everything, forward's the only direction that makes sense. Backward is just ghosts and graves, so I keep my eyes ahead. And my boots keep collecting dust from every mile that separates me from the man I used to be. Maybe when there's enough dust, I won't recognize myself anymore. And that's the closest thing to peace a man like me can hope for. When I finally stop walking and lay my body down, I hope the dust remembers me, even if nobody's around. Plant me where I'm standing, no need for ceremony. Just let the desert take me back, I was always its testimony. Dust on my boots,
Where I've been,
dust on my boots,
where I've sinned,
dust on my boots,
all I own,
dust on my boots,
dust and bone.
walking still,
Walking on
walking still,
till I'm gone.
till I'm boots. Six men took everything from me. I got 6 bullets. seems like fate to me. First bullet's got a name on it, the banker who stole our land. He signed papers with a fountain pen while blood was on his hands. I found him in his mansion, eating supper with his wife. I let her leave the room before I took his life. One down, 5 to go, cylinder getting light. Every bullet is a promise I made myself that night. 6 bullets left, one for every sin. 6 bullets left for the men who did me in. When the last shell hits the ground and the smoke begins to clear, I'll finally rest in peace, but until then, 6 bullets left, 6 men to fear. Second bullet found a sheriff who looked the other way. When they hung my daddy up on that bloody summer day, he begged me for forgiveness, said he had no choice. I said neither do I, and I silenced his voice. 2 down, 4 to go, the list is getting short. Every man will face the judge, and I'm holding court. 6 bullets left, one for every sin. 6 bullets left for the man who did me in. When the last shell hits the ground and the smoke begins to clear, I'll finally rest in peace, but until then, 4 bullets left and 4 men to fear. They probably forgot what they did, moved on with their lives, got fat and happy. Well, I buried my family, but I didn't forget. I wrote their names in my Bible, right next to the Psalms. And every night I pray not for forgiveness, but for aim. 6 bullets. That's all God gave me. And I won't waste a single one. 3rd and 4th were brothers, found them on a cattle drive. They saw me coming from a mile away, still couldn't stay alive. 5th was just a coward who testified in court. He ran for 7 counties, but 7 wasn't far enough. 5 down, 1 to go, the end is almost near. 1 bullet, 1 name, and then I disappear. 1 bullet left for the final sin. 1 bullet left where it all begins. The man who gave the order, the man who started this. 1 bullet left, and I never miss. 6 bullets, 6 graves, 6 debts all paid. Now I stand at the last door, 1 bullet in the chamber, 1 name on my lips, the man who killed my father. Today he pays the toll. 1 bullet left for his soul. Every night when the fire dies down and the desert goes cold and still, I see them standing in the shadows, the ghosts of men I've killed. They don't speak, they just watch me with hollow, empty eyes, waiting for me to join them underneath these endless skies. I can't outrun them, they're faster than my horse. They live inside my conscience, they're the riders of remorse. Ghosts of men I've killed, ghosts of men I've killed. They don't make a sound, they just wait there in the darkness, patient, cold and still.
Every night they're growing stronger.
The ghosts of men I've killed. The first one was the hardest, his face I'll never forget. Young kid, maybe 19, eyes full of regret. He reached for his pistol, but his hand was way too slow. Sometimes I wonder who he'd be if I had let him go. He visits me the most, always standing to my right. A boy who'll never grow old, frozen in that night.
Ghosts of men I've
Ghosts of men I've killed,
never realized.
ghosts of men I've killed.
Ghosts of men I've killed.
They don't make a sound, they just wait there in the darkness, patient, cold and still.
Every night they're growing stronger.
The ghosts of men I've killed. Preacher once told me, thou shalt not kill. I told him, preacher, you ever watch your family die? He didn't have an answer, neither do I anymore. I did what I thought was justice. Now justice follows me in the form of every face I put in the ground. They're not angry. That's the worst part. They're just waiting. Waiting for me to join them. And some nights, some cold desert nights, I think maybe I should. Maybe the only peace I'll find is on the other side, with the ghosts. At least then, they'd stop watching. I stopped counting at 20, or maybe it was more. Each one had a mother, each one had a door. They used to walk through to someone who loved them, and I took that away. Now they take my sleep every single day. The bottle doesn't help, stars don't reach the sky. The only voice I hear at night is asking me why.
Goes a man I've
Ghosts of men I've killed.
they carrying around.
Ghosts of men I've killed.
Goes a man I've killed.
They don't make a sound. They just wait there in the darkness, patient, cold and still.
And every night they're growing stronger.
The ghosts of men I've killed.
Goes a man I've
Ghosts of men I've killed. They're all I have for company. Ghosts of men I've killed. The only ones who know me when my time finally comes and I take my last breath. I'll have plenty of familiar faces waiting for me in death.
Goes a man I've killed.
Save a place for me. I'm coming soon.
Goes a man I've killed.
I'm coming soon. Just because I'm outside the law doesn't mean I don't have rules. They call me outlaw, criminal, like those words mean the same. But there's a difference between a monster and a man who plays the game. I got a code I live by, carved in blood and bone. Even in the darkness, a man reaps what he's sown. Ain't no law out here that's worth a damn, so I wrote my own commandments and I live them best I can. The code says never hurt a woman, never harm a child. The code says keep your word even when the world goes wild. The code says if you draw your weapon, you better see it through. The code's the only thing that separates a man from what he'll do. The code. I've killed men who deserved it, let others walk away. The ones who crossed the line, they're the ones who had to pay. But I don't shoot unarmed and don't ambush from behind. When I come to collect a debt, I look them in the eye. Some say I'm just a killer with a fancy set of rules, but without the code to guide me, I'd be worse than all the fools. The code says never hurt a woman, never harm a child. The code says keep your word even when the world goes wild. The code says never hurt a woman, never harm a child. The code says keep your word even when the world goes wild. The code says if you draw your weapon, you better see it through. The code's the only thing that separates a man from what he'll do. My daddy taught me the code before they strung him up. He said, son, this world will try to make you an animal. Don't let it. You can live outside the law and still have honor. You can be a wanted man and still have a line you won't cross. The moment you lose the code, you lose yourself. And that's a death worse than hanging, so I kept his words, carved them into my heart. And every time I pull the trigger, I ask myself, does this break the code? If it does, I walk away. If it doesn't, God have mercy on their soul, because I won't. When they finally put me down, I hope they write it on my grave. He was an outlaw, true, but the code he never betrayed. Some men hide behind a badge and do far worse than me. At least I know exactly what kind of man I'll be. The code, written in dust. The code, in a world unjust. The code, all a man can keep. The code, even in death's sleep. Honor among thieves, that's what some say. The code guides me every day till my final breath, even unto death. I've become something more than man now, a story they tell at night. Mothers use my name to scare their children when they won't sleep right. They say I ride a black horse with fire in its eyes, that I sold my soul at the crossroads for a gun that never lies. Some say I'm dead already, some say I never was, just a legend born from gun smoke that does what legends does. They speak my name in whispers, afraid I might appear. Oh, they speak my name in whispers, the legend that they fear. Oh, I've become the shadow that the West can't escape. Oh, they speak my name in whispers, and the whisper seal their fate. Bartenders pour a glass out every night at sundown, in case I'm riding through the territory, in case I'm coming to town. Sheriffs check their windows, deputies double lock their doors, because they know my list isn't finished, there's always room for more. Truth got mixed with fiction somewhere along the way. Now they say I can't be killed, that I'll never fade away. They speak my name in whispers, afraid I might appear. Oh, they speak my name in whispers, the legend that they fear. Oh, I've become the shadow that the West can't escape. Oh, they speak my name in whispers, and the whispers seal their fate.
Funny thing about legends, you don't get to choose when you become one. One day you're just a man with blood on his hands and a hole in his heart. Next day you're a story bigger than the truth. They say I killed 100 men, the numbers may be half. They say I cannot die, I just haven't yet. They say I'm the devil's hand, maybe I am, but I didn't start out this way. I started out as someone's son, now I'm everyone's nightmare. The legend writes itself, and I just keep riding, playing the part that the West created. They needed a monster, so I became one. They needed a ghost, so I stopped being human. They speak my name in whispers, because that's all I am now. A whisper, a warning, a name on the wind. When I'm finally gone someday, they'll swear they saw me still, riding through the moonlight, coming over the hill. Because legends don't die easy, they just change form. I'll become the lightning inside every storm. Bury me in secret, don't mark the grave. Some things are more powerful when they refuse to fade. They speak my name in whispers, afraid I might appear. They speak my name in whispers, the legend that they fear. I've become the shadow that the West can't escape. They speak my name in whispers, and the whispers seal their fate. They speak my name in whispers.
They speak my name in whispers.
Good. Because the moment they forget, the moment they speak too loud, that's when I ride again, out from the dust, out from the legend, back into flesh.
They speak my name in whispers,
And they always will, long after I'm bones, long after I'm still.
the name will ride forever.
Across this western sky, they speak my name in whispers and whispers. Never die. Never die. First job I ever took was for $40 clean. Rob a stagecoach heading north, easiest money I'd ever seen. Didn't think about the driver with a family back home, just thought about surviving. When you're hungry, you're alone. Hunger makes philosophers into common thieves. When your belly's empty, you'll do things you won't believe. Blood money, that's all I've ever earned. Blood money, every dollar I've turned, it spends the same as honest pay, but weighs more in my hands. Blood money does what blood demands. Blood money, second job paid 100 for a man I'd never met. Someone wanted him gone and I needed to settle a debt.
I told myself he was guilty of something somewhere, somehow. But truth is I didn't ask questions, just needed the money right now. Morals are a luxury for men who got enough. When you're scraping bottom, you'll learn to love the rough. Blood money, that's all I've ever earned. Blood money. Every lesson learned, it spends the same as honest pay, but weighs more in my hands. Blood money does what blood demands. Blood money.
I remember the first time I counted money with blood still on my fingers, watched it stain the paper and thought, this is who I am now. A man who trades in death for dollars and survival. I tried honest work once, they paid me pennies and treated me like dirt. At least in this business there's a certain kind of respect. Nobody looks down on a man who might be the last thing they see. Blood money, it's dirty but it's mine. I earned every crimson cent, and I'll spend it just the same. But late at night when the counting's done, I wonder if there's enough money in all the West to buy back my soul. Now I've got more than I can spend, stashed in holes across the land, but I'd trade every bloody dollar just to wash the red off my hands. They say money is freedom, but I've never felt more chained to every life I took for profit, every grave that bears my stain. Blood money, all I know. Blood money, watch it grow. Blood money buys me time. Blood money feeds the crime, but it won't buy me peace, won't buy me rest. Blood money, a curse dressed as success. Blood money till the end. Blood money, my only friend. The sun is at its highest point, shadows disappear. The whole town's gone quiet, you can taste the fear. He's standing at the far end, hand twitching by his side. One of us won't see the sunset, one of us will die. Everything I've done led me to this street. 20 years of running, now we finally meet. I know the hour of the gun. I knew when death's come due, son. No more running, no more hiding, time to face the sun. Let's see who's the faster one. High noon. I can see him sweating from 50 feet away.
come here, he knows today's the day. The street feels like a mile, the seconds feel like years. This is what revenge tastes like after all the tears. I've imagined this moment 1,000 sleepless nights. Now it's finally happening, time to wrong the rise. I knew the hour of the gun. I knew when debts come due, son. No more running, no more hiding, time to face the sun. I knew. Let's see who's the faster one. Slows down in moments like this. I can hear my heart beat louder than thunder. I can see his eyes, calculating, measuring, wondering if today is his day to die. The whole world shrinks to just two men, and the space between them. Everything I've lost, everyone I've buried, it all comes down to one single moment, one twitch of a finger, one bullet finding home. High noon, when men become legends, or become nothing at all. Draw. His hand moved first, but mine moved faster. The echo of my pistol wrote the final chapter. He drops like a puppet when you cut the strings, and I stand here breathing while the church bell rings. I knew the hour of the gun. I knew, and now it's done. No more running, no more hiding. I face down the sun. I knew, and I'm the faster one. I knew, and I'm the faster one. I knew it's over now. High noon, I kept my vow. High noon, the smoke clears slow. Time to go. The sun moves on, and so do I. High noon, under this western sky, another name crossed off, another ghost to carry. High noon, the weight I'll always ferry. High noon. Feet down is all they get. No covenant, no prayer. Just a hole in the desert floor, and coyotes to say what's fair. I've buried more men than I can count in sand that doesn't care. Shallow graves in the desert, that's all that's waiting there. The desert keeps its secrets, swallows bones and names. Nobody comes looking for players of these games. Shallow grave in the desert, that's where sinners sleep. Shallow grave in the desert,
Where the secrets keep.
no headstone, no flowers, no one comes to weep. Just vultures in the silence and the sand piled deep. Shallow grave in the desert. First man I buried out here, I said a few words over him. Now I don't even slow down, just dig and fill it in. The desert doesn't judge me,
doesn't ask me why. It just opens up its belly and lets another body lie. Maybe one day I'll join them, stretched out in the sand. Another unmarked nothing in this unforgiving land. Shallow grave in the desert, that's where sinners sleep. Shallow grave in the desert where the secrets keep. No headstone, no flowers, no one comes to weep. Just vultures and the silence and the sand piled deep. Shallow grave in the desert. People ask me, where do the bodies go? I tell them the desert's hungry, always room for one more. See out here, there's no law, no witnesses, just miles of nothing and the sun bleaching everything white. A man can disappear completely like he never existed. Maybe that's mercy in its own twisted way. No trial, no hanging, no crowd to watch you swing. Just a quiet hole in the endless sky, shallow grave. It's more than most deserve, and it's all I'm offering. Take it or leave it. Actually, you don't get that choice. When my time comes, I wonder, will someone dig for me, or will I just fall where I'm standing and let nature set me free? Either way, the desert wins, it always does out here. Shallow graves for all of us, our final frontier.
Shallow grave in the desert.
Mine's already dug.
Shallow grave in the desert.
Waiting for my blood.
Shallow grave in the desert.
Where I'll finally rest.
Shallow grave in the desert.
Among all the rest. Bones beside bones. Dust beside dust. Shallow grave in the desert. Where we all turn to rust.
Shallow grave
coming soon.
Shallow grave
Under the desert moon. Bartend, pour another round. I ain't finished yet. Still trying to drown the memories in whiskey and regret. Every glass takes the edge off for a moment, maybe two. But when I reach the bottom, I still see what I've been through. They say drinking's not the answer, but they never ask my question. How do you live with what you've done when your soul needs confession? Whiskey and regret, that's all I've got tonight. Whiskey and regret, till I can't tell wrong from right. Pour it till I'm numb,
till I forget her name. Whiskey and regret, washing down the shame. Whiskey and regret. I used to drink for a celebration, back when I had things to toast. Now I drink for medication, trying to quiet down the ghost. Her picture's in my pocket, faded, cracked and worn. Only thing I kept from before, the night my world was torn. She'd hate to see me like this, slumped over in a bar. But she's not here to stop me, she's not anywhere. Whiskey and regret, that's all I've got tonight. Whiskey and regret, till I can't tell wrong from right. Pour it till I'm numb, till I forget her face. Whiskey and regret, filling up her space. Whiskey and regret. You wanna know why I drink? I'll tell you. Because when I'm sober, I remember everything. Every detail, the way she smiled, the way she said my name, the way she looked at me like I was something worth believing in. And then I remember how she looked at the end when they took her from me because of what I'd done. So I drink to blur the edges, to soften the memory, to pretend for just one moment that I'm someone else, someone who didn't destroy the only good thing he ever had. Pour me another bartender. The night is young and my regret is old, and neither one of us is going anywhere. Last call's coming closer, but I don't wanna leave. Rather stay here in this bottle than face what waits for me. An empty room and silence, and the weight of all I've done. Whiskey's the only friend I've got, now that she's gone. Whiskey and regret, my two companions now. Whiskey and regret, the only love I'll allow. Whiskey and regret, till the bottle's dry. Whiskey and regret, till the day I die. Pour another round, let me stay right here. Whiskey and regret, year after year. My only comfort, my only truth. Whiskey and regret, proof after proof. They say if you go to the crossroads at the stroke of midnight, he'll be waiting. I thought it was just a story until I needed something bad enough to
find out. I rode out to the crossroad when the moon was blood red high. Stood there in the darkness, just me and the empty sky. Then the temperature dropped frozen and a man stepped from the black, dressed in a suit too fine for these parts, with a smile that held me back. He said, I know why you've come here, I know what you need, I can give you what you're after, just sign here and we're agreed. Devil at the crossroads, waiting for my soul. Devil at the crossroads, ready to make me whole. He offered me revenge and a gun that never missed. All it cost was everything, sealed with an unholy kiss. Devil at the crossroads. He spread a contract on the dust, written in something red, names of all who signed before, every single one of them dead. But I didn't hesitate, didn't read the fine print through. When you've lost all that matters, there's nothing left to lose. He pricked my finger gently, let the blood drop on the line, said, pleasure doing business, now your vengeance will be mine. Devil at the crossroads, waiting for my soul. Devil at the crossroads, ready to make me whole. He gave me what I wanted, every man I hunted fell. All it cost was eternity on the wrong side of hell. Devil at the crossroads. People ask me how I do it, how I'm still alive. After all the duels, all the bullets that should have found me, I don't tell them the truth that I'm already bought and paid for. That death can't take me until he says so. The devil keeps his investments protected until he's ready to collect, and some nights I see him in the corner of saloons, smiling at me, tipping his head, reminding me that every breath I take is borrowed, every sunrise is a loan. And one day the note comes due, but until then I'm the deadliest thing walking, because hell itself is keeping me alive. For now. Now I've done what I set out to do. Every name is crossed away, but the devil's still inside me, and he's not going away. I thought I'd feel free after, thought I'd find some peace, but you can't outrun a contract when the creditor won't see. Devil at the crossroads, he's coming for his due. Devil at the crossroads, I always knew. The deal was made in darkness, and in darkness I'll descend.
Devil at the crossroads,
This is how it ends. No heaven waiting for me, no rest beyond the
what I gave. Worth it for the vengeance, worth it for the God.
Devil at the crossroads.
And now the deal is done, coming for me soon. I can feel him getting close. Devil at the crossroads, ready for his ghost, ready for me.
Used to be 1,000 people living in this town. Now the streets are full of nothing, and the buildings falling down. I watch them leave one by one as my reputation grew, till there was no one left but me and the ghosts I knew. They say I'm the reason this place turned to dust. They packed up and ran from a man they couldn't trust. Last man in town, walking empty streets. Last man in town, where silence and memory meets. They built this place for families, for churches and for schools. Now I'm the last man in town, king of dust and fools. Last man in town. The saloon still has my bottle behind the dusty bar. I drink alone and talk to whoever I think they are. The sheriff's office stands empty, badge rusting on the floor. Nobody to uphold the law when there's no law anymore. I got what I wanted, a kingdom of my own. Just didn't realize the crown would be made of bone. Last man in town, walking empty streets. Last man in town, where silence and memory meets. I won every battle, survived every fight. Now I'm the last man in town, alone with the night. Last man in town. I remember when this street was full, children laughing, women talking, men tipping their hats. I remember the general store, the church bells on Sunday, the smell of bread from the bakery, all gone now. Chased away by what I brought here, by the blood that followed me. They weren't wrong to leave, I would have left too if I could outrun myself, but I can't. So I stay. The last man in a town that used to be alive, walking through memories of what I destroyed. Just by being here, the deadliest thing about me wasn't my gun.
It was my presence, and now I have all the presence in the world and no one to share it with. Last man in town. Be careful what you fight for. You might win. Sometimes I hear voices coming from the empty rooms, echoes of the living haunting what became their tombs. I talk back to them sometimes, pretend they're really there, but nobody answers, just the wind and my despair. Last man in town, was it worth the cost? Last man in town, look at what I lost. Last man in town, ruler of the dead. Last man in town, voices in my head. Last man in town, the legend standing tall, the loneliest of all. Last man in town, this is victory. Last man in town, just ghosts and me. Last man standing, last man alone. Last man in town. Made of dust and bone. Some stories don't have endings. They just fade, like hoofbeats in the distance, like smoke on the wind. This is mine. I done what I came to do. Every name is off the list. Every debt has been collected. Every enemy dismissed. Now there's nothing left to hunt, nothing left to prove. Just an old man on a tired horse with nothing left to lose. So I pointed myself toward the horizon, where the sun meets the ground, and I ride toward the end of a man hellbound. Right into the sunset, leave it all behind. Right into the sunset, stood, always ready in my hand. Maybe somewhere out there is a place where I can rest, lay down the ledge and finally, and bury this heavy chest. Tell stories about me long after I'm gone, but I'll be somewhere quiet where I've never belonged. Right into the sunset, the sunset, see what I can find. Maybe there's a tomorrow where I'm not this man. The sunset, start again if I can. Right into the sunset. The story. If you hear any story, then I guess I became a legend after all. The legends are just men who couldn't find their way home, so they kept riding until the story wrote itself. I'm tired now, tired of killing, tired of running, tired of being a nightmare in someone else's dream. So I'm heading west, where the sun goes to die. Maybe I'll die with it, or maybe I'll find something I haven't felt in years. Peace. It's totally too late for heaven, but maybe there's somewhere in between, place for men like me who did terrible things for reasons that make sense at the time. Guess I'll find out when the sun finally swallows me whole. Goodbye to whoever's listening. Remember me. Story if you want to, change the parts you don't like, make me hero or villain, it don't matter tonight. I'll be somewhere past the sunset, where legends gonna fade, just a man who finally finished the last ride he ever made. Right into the sunset, the end of the trail. Right into the sunset, yeah.
The sun was setting bloody red when a stranger rode through the gate. Dust on his coat and shadow in his eyes, like a man out running fate. Nobody knew where he came from, nobody dared to ask. Just a silhouette against the dying light, with a pistol and a pass. The wind stopped blowing, the dogs stopped barking. Something in the air said darkness was coming. A stranger rode in from somewhere past the sun. A stranger rode in with a past he's running from. Don't know his name, don't know his sin, but everything changed the day the stranger rode in. He tied his horse at the saloon, walked in without a sound. Every eye turned to face him, every voice went to the ground. He ordered whiskey straight, didn't say a single word. Just sat there in the corner like a man who's seen the worst. Bartender's hands were shaking, sheriff reached for his gun, but something in the stranger's eyes said, "Don't be dumb, son." The stranger rode in from somewhere past the sun. A stranger rode in with a past he's running from. Don't know his name, don't know his sin, but everything changed the day the stranger rode in. Old timers say, when a man rides alone through desert that wide, he's either running from something or riding towards someone. Either way, death ain't far behind. This stranger had both in his eyes, the running and the riding, the hunter and the hunted, all wrapped in one dusty coat. The night the stranger slept, with one eye open wide, hand resting on his pistol like a man who's meant to die, but not tonight. No, not yet. There's names he hasn't crossed and debts he hasn't collected from the men who made him lost. A stranger rode in from somewhere past the sun. A stranger rode in with a past he's running from. Don't know his name, don't know his sin, but everything changed the day the stranger rode in. A stranger rode in, and nothing was the same. A stranger rode in, the devil knows his name. Even if we don't, the devil knows his name.
Some men fear to fight. I shake his hand and thank you for the lesson. I shook hands with my demons young before I knew their name. Walked through doors that should have stayed shut and came out dressed in flames. Every scar became a scripture, every wound became a word. Every time they said I'd break, I became what they never heard. Hell taught me what heaven couldn't. Pain carved me into a man. The devil was my professor. Now I finally understand. We tip the devil for the lessons learned. Raise a glass to every bridge we burn. Some men pray for easy roads. We thank the fire for the way it burned. Yeah, we tip the devil for the lessons learned. I've been broken. Two different kinds of poor. One empties out your pockets, the other empties out your soul. I trust the snakes dressed up as brothers, gave my loyalty to thieves. But a man forged in the darkness knows which hand to believe. Hell taught me what heaven couldn't. Soft prayers don't build strong men. The devil took me to school and I'd enroll again. We tip the devil for the lessons learned. Raise a glass to every bridge we burned. Some men pray for easy roads. We thank the fire for the way it burned. Yeah, we tip the devil for the lessons learned. Let me tell you something about the devil. He don't just take. Sometimes he teaches. See, heaven gives you blessings, but the devil gives you lessons, and lessons last longer. Blessings make you comfortable, lessons make you dangerous. So when I lost everything, I didn't curse the darkness. I took notes and tuition. Tuition cost me everything I thought I was, but it gave me everything I am. So yeah, I tip the devil not because I worship him, but because I survived him, and survival deserves respect. Now I move like smoke through shadows, eyes that have seen the other side. I don't flinch at threats anymore. I've already died inside. A gentleman called from midnight, with the devil as my guide. Not because I chose the darkness, because the light had lied. Hell taught me what heaven couldn't. Grace is earned, not given free. The devil showed me who I was when God was silent with me. We tip the devil for the lessons learned. Raise a glass to every bridge we burn. Some men break beneath the weight
lessons learned. So here's to the pain that built me. Here's to the lies that taught me truth. Here's to the ones who betrayed me, you were the devil's tools. And here's to me for surviving, for turning wounds into wine. I tipped the devil for the lessons, and the lessons made me mine. Tip the devil for the lessons learned. Every scar, every burn made me who I am today. Tip the devil and walk away. Wiser, darker, unafraid. Tip the devil, dues paid.
Saw my face on the wall today. $500 dead or alive. Funny thing is, I'm worth more now than I ever was breathing honest. There's a poster with my face on it in every town I pass. $500 for my capture, dead or alive, they asked. I used to be an honest man. I used to walk the narrow way. But honest doesn't feed your family when the bills come to stay. So I took what wasn't given with what had to be done. Now I'm looking over my shoulder at every rising sun. Now I'm a wanted man with a price on my head. I'm a wanted man. They'd rather have me dead. But I ain't running from the law. I'm running from the man I was. I'm a wanted man, and a wanted man does what he does. First time I pulled the trigger, my hand shook for a week. Second time came easier, about a third I couldn't sleep. Now I've lost count of the bodies, lost count of the town, lost count of the faces that I put in the ground. They call me ruthless killer. They don't know the half. I only kill the ones who deserve it, but the law don't do like me. family, church every Sunday. But when the railroad came, they took our land. When we fought back, they took my father, left him swinging from a tree as a message. So I become a message too, just written in lead instead of rope. Now they want me, but I wanted justice first. And justice in the West, where's a gun matter wrong? There's a deputy 3 days behind me, heading closer by the hour. But I got one more name to cross before I face his power. When the score is finally settled, I'll let him take me in. But until that moment comes, I'm married to my sin. I'm a wanted man with a price on my head. I'm a wanted man. They'd rather have me dead. But I ain't running from the law. I'm running from the man who was. I'm a wanted man, and the wanted man does what he does. Wanted man, that's what they call me now. Wanted man, forgot my name somehow. Just a face on the poster, a number and a crowd. Wanted man, running out of time. Wanted man, but I ain't done, not yet.
I keep asking myself the same question over and over. I used to know right from wrong, used to sleep through the night, used to look in the mirror and not look away from the sight. But somewhere down this bloody road, I lost the man I was. Now I'm standing at the crossroads, wondering what I've become. The things I've done to survive, they saved my body, but what about my soul? Which would be worse, to live as a monster or to die as a good man? Which would be worse, to keep on breathing with blood on my hands? I chose to become this, now I wear the monster's crown.
which would be worse? I remember the first time I crossed that sacred line. Told myself it was survival, told myself I'd be fine. But one line leads to another. Now I'm so far gone, I can't find my way back to who I was before the dawn. The good man I was would be ashamed of me now, but the good man I was wouldn't have survived somehow. Which would be worse, to live as a monster or to die as a good man? Which would be worse, to keep on breathing with blood on my hands? I could have kept my honor, died with my name clean, but I chose to survive. Which would be worse? Good men die young out here, they die with their honor, and the world forgets them. So I made a choice. I chose to live. I chose to become what I had to become. And now I'm here breathing, but at night I see the good man I killed to become this monster. And he asked me, was it worth it? I don't have an answer. Which would be worse, to live as a monster or die as a good man? I chose the monster. Now I live with that forever. Maybe in another life I could have stayed clean, could have been a father, something they'd never seen. But this life chose violence, and violence chose me back. Now goodness is a memory, fading to black. Which would be worse, to live as a monster or to die as a good man? Which would be worse, to keep on breathing with blood on my hands? The good man in me died so the monster could stand. Which would be worse? I finally understand. Monster or good man, I made my choice. Now I live with the ghost of the man I could have been. Which would be worse? Both are worse, living and dying. Monster and man, I am both, forever damned. Which would be worse? Now I understand.